Welcome to week number 2. And in week number 2, we're covering the theological theme of suffering. And in this time, we're going to look at the life of Job. We're going to look at how he responded to God during some intense moments in his life when even his own spouse and friends began to counsel him in such a way that he should go. And he did not take their counsel, but continued to endure with all the pain and problems that came into his life from losing his loved ones, losing his estate, his farm. And yet God was good to Job, even at the end of the day where he multiplied and blessed Job all over again. When we look at the concept of suffering and looking at it from a theological perspective, we start from the book of Genesis and see the human family begins to become unraveled from within. You have jealousy, you have murder, you have the human family begins to move away from the Lord, all the way to the book of end of the book of Genesis, where Joseph is now suffering under his brothers and sold into slavery. Fast forward, move some more, all the way to the book of the Psalms, and you find the worshiper crying out to the Lord in the midst of great pain and maybe uncertainty going on in their life. And so we have these songs recorded for us as a way to reflect and meditate upon the Lord. Fast forward, we move all the way to the Gospels and we see Jesus suffering. We see Jesus ministering to those who were also dealing with physical pain and problems and disabilities. We see natural disasters take place in the Bible. We see storms at sea where it can cause the mind to wander at times and to often question faith, whether God was providing, such as Peter saying, "Lord, save me from the waves and the sea." Paul experienced great suffering in the hands of his accusers who denied the progress of the gospel. And at times he encountered just natural disaster at sea when he was traveling from one location to another. And yet we have the great biblical scripture that encourages us to remain steadfast in our faith, where we have James chapter 1, verse 12 says, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." And so that is the encouragement that we have in Scripture. And today, as we face some uncertainty of our own in a time where it seems everything is coming unraveled, work life, family life, church life. We're not able to go to church right now due to the virus. Let me encourage you to look at the scripture and begin to study the scripture in such a way through story and structure of the Bible and make a resolute decision this week. Lord, I'm going to ask that you speak through your word in such a way that I've never encountered before, that I would see your beauty. I would have joy in my life and trust you for the future days ahead. And we're going to give that prayer to the Lord this week together as a class. And I hope that something this week would stir in your heart, that this would become your theological project toward the end of the course. So whatever that might be, whatever it might stir in your mind right now, that the direction you should go, let me know. Love to help you and guide you along the way and say, hey, that's a good theme you should be moving ahead on. And be encouraged today, okay? Praying for you, that God would meet your needs wherever you are at, and look forward to connecting later.